Good evening and welcome to Modern Mondays here at Guardian Games in Portland, Oregon. We're bringing you round one of four here. I'm Travis Cooper hanging out with,
Ian Lunger.
and it looks like we have a matchup of Suspense Sam Schaefer on Neobrand and Anthony Stagliano on Jund. Thoughts, feelings, emotions about this matchup, Ian?
Well, you asked for thoughts, and I think that Anthony is going to want Thoughtseize in
Oh,
this matchup. Feels like it's going to be a tough matchup for Anthony if there's not early disruption. However, this Neobrand deck is relatively fragile, and so even one piece of hand disruption can set the deck back a number of turns.
yeah, who wins the die roll here is going to be pretty important too, because if Anthony is on the play, he might be able to have a turn two removal spell for the Allosaurus Rider. A lot of times the Neobrand list will end up playing the Allosaurus Rider on turn one and then turn two combo off. So if you can get the creature off the table, that is a start to two for oneing, three for oneing, four for oneing your opponent. And we have a Chancellor reveal, so Sam's going to get an extra green mana in his first main phase. Chancellor of the Tangle. And looks like it's just a Bloodstained Mire for Anthony. No turn one hand disruption spell, which can be pretty key in this matchup. A lot of times the Neobrand player is using several cards to get one card into play, and so if you can poke a hole in that, it can save you a couple turns.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very real chance that we see Sam go off here. So I believe is that Edge of Autumn. Let's take a look.
And so Sam's able to search up a forest, and looks like Anthony is just fetching on the end step there.
So Sam went ahead and fired off Edge of Autumn to grab another land and is setting up for comboing in a future turn. Anthony's going to run out Bob.
I'm gonna go interrupt those players for a second. Edge of Autumn, basic land. Oh, it's a basic land? Yeah. It's a basic land. It says basic land. Oh, got those players there. Edge of Autumn grabs a basic land, and
I believe
Sam
that
had gotten a breeding pool.
Anthony has also taken 2 additional damage. We have a Black Cleave Cliffs and an Overgrown Tomb and a fetch land. Oh no, I guess it's... Did we fetch untapped?
No, we fetched it in step, so.
Okay. Alright.
Right, we have the Allosaurus Rider out for Sam.
And this is usually where
Are we doing Eldritch Evolution? We are. So Allosaurus Rider is going to turn it into a Grizzlebrand. I wonder how many copies Sam is playing.
My guess is 2.
Yeah, I would guess
think
2
a
as
lot
well.
of the lists are sticking with 2 Grizzies. And there's a very decent chance that this is all she wrote as far as this game is concerned.
There is a fail rate. It's not high.
Sam is just drawing the 7 revealed here, which is, that's a way you can do it.
You're allowed to show your hand to your opponent.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is a really bad feeling, like especially after you've lost and your opponent's like, well, I had all these things anyways.
Right. Yeah, it's not ad nauseum, so you don't have to reveal these cards.
We're not
But
updating our life total here, or Sam isn't, but oh, here we
I
go. Here
think
we go.
yeah, we're gonna Nourishing Shoal, pitching an Autochton Worm.
That one never comes
So
into
for
play.
those unfamiliar with this combo, uh, Sam has a Grizzlebrand in play and is paying 7 life to draw 7 cards, and then is using Nourishing Shoal, pitching large green creatures to refill his life total to draw 7 again. The ultimate goal here will be to draw through the entire library and play either a Lab Maniac or a Thassa's Oracle and get the W from milling yourself. And to do that, we should have Simian Spirit Guides plus Manamorphose to get the required mana needed to play the Oracle or Lab Maniac. And it looks like Sam is playing the Lab Maniac win condition. Yeah, I think Jun should have some cards to improve this matchup post board. Um, Cards like Collective Brutality can be good in the matchup. Stripping the Neoform or Eldritch Evolution from Sam's hand pretty much stop the combo cold, and if this deck is not comboing off, it's doing a lot of nothing.
And also, I feel like just knowing what your matchup is and how to mulligan on the Gen side of the table is going to be pretty strong. Like if Anthony knew he was playing against Neobrand, he would have mulliganed to hand disruption, probably, and especially being on the play here. But just Jund is one of those 50-50 decks that goes in with an unknown. If Anthony happened to have had the hand disruption, this game could have looked very different.
Right.
And I wonder how many cards we've got left in that library. Yep, we got Gemstone Mine. Nope, thought about using it.
Looks like we have one Spirit Guide here. Sam just doing a quick update in life total. This is turn 3 for Sam. No, turn 2.
It's turn 2.
Yeah.
We had an Edge of Autumn on.
An Edge of Autumn cast turn 1 with the help of the Simian Spirit Guide.
I think the Edge of Autumn was cast off a Chancellor of the Tangle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. Yes, it is only the second turn. The Neobrand combo deck, as far as I know, is the fastest combo deck in Modern. I know that Amulet Titan has some turn 2 kills available, but I believe this deck has the possibility for turn 1 kills. And without disruption, I think turn 2 is possible a decent amount of the time.
Yeah, the deck really doesn't want to play much more than like 2 or 3 games, or 2 or 3 turns of Magic here.
No.
Because it's not doing anything else other than comboing off. There is no fair mid-range plan here.
Yeah, Neobrand is a super odd looking deck when you watch somebody play it. It definitely does not look like playing Magic. Go ahead and Nourishing Shoal again.
Sam almost paid all of the 7 life there to lose the game. Make sure you Nourishing Shoal first before you activate Grizzlebrand.
And Anthony's going to pick up the cards, and we'll go to a quick game 2. So again, Anthony now knows what to look for when they're mulliganing, and that should create a much more interesting game 2.
Yeah, so for sideboards, it looks like Anthony has a pair of Graph Figures cages. Seems good. A couple of Collective Brutalities, 2 Ashiok, a Huntmaster, a couple of Fulminator Mages, a Pillage, a Stone Rain, Anger of the God, 2 Plague Engineers, and a Choke. Anything you particularly like out of the sideboard there?
Collective Brutality, I think, is good. Graph Digger's Cage is fantastic.
I find Ashiok is probably... I'm definitely in on Ashiok and Brutality. Probably if I'm on the play. I don't know about those two cards if I'm on the draw. It depends if you have worse cards to board out, which you probably do. Like things like Fatal Push
Oh yeah.
aren't doing anything in your deck, so easy to take out all of those. But Grafdigger's Cage is the real sort of sideboard bomb here. And it looks like, let's see, for Sam, we have Leyline of the Sanctity. Oh, let's pull this up. Leyline of Sanctity, a couple Oxidizes, Slaughter Pact. We have Neoform, which is in the board because I think we're running Glittering Wishes in the main. We have Eldamari's Call, Decay, Assassin's Trophy, Veil of Summer, 3 Pact Negations, and a Guttural Response.
Veil of Summer seems amazing here, as does Leyline of Sanctity. Otherwise, I'm not. I guess Oxidize seems reasonable if you predict that Anthony's bringing in Grafdigger's Cage.
I feel like maybe that's one that you have to sort of just board in game 2 against a deck where a reasonable percentage of them play a card like Cage on the board.
Yeah, it's possible. It's just hard to like filter your draw to draw that. And it's so bad to draw if they don't go for that exact plan. So I almost, if you've won game 1, I would maybe keep the deck lean and just hope to dodge. But I think going either seems defensible to me.
And players thinking about what to take out here. It feels like whenever you're playing all-in combo deck, that is the real question. Is like you'll have cards that you want to put in, but like what are the flex slots that you can board out on in the main deck?
So Neobrand, it can win by using Grizzlebrand to attack, but the hardest part of the combo is usually getting Grizzlebrand into play in the first place. So it's certainly a line that I've seen win for this deck, but generally when you see the deck play, it either gets Grizzlebrand into play and wins, or does not manage to get Grizzlebrand into play and loses.
Yeah, like if you're Neobrand and you can do like a turn 2 Grizzlebrand and you're playing Burn, you might just attack.
Yep.
Because there's no real reason to expose yourself to a fail rate of your deck of not hitting Nourishing Shoals and gaining a bunch of life, even though that fail rate's really low, with where you're playing a deck that can't remove Grizzlebrand that's based on throwing a bunch of damage spells at you. That is a fine strategy.
Unless you think they boarded in Path, then it's a little scary.
I mean, you can always activate Grizzlebrand in response to removal. So.
Right. Hope to find another one. But again, most players are only running 2 Grizzlebrands in the deck, and so if you do activate it and happen to draw your second Grizzlebrand along with your other cards to put Grizzlebrand into play, then you're SOL. Because I don't think there's any way to shuffle the Grizzlebrand back into the deck.
Well, risk that one might take.
Yeah.
Definitely you're not going to run into Path game 1 against a deck like Burn.
No. Yeah, certainly not. One of those matchups that's just going to be about relatively few cards. Would expect to see Anthony keep a hand that has disruption or mulligan to something that has disruption. I think there's no excuse to not do that with the London Mulligan rule available. And yeah, this is also, when you bring a deck like Neobrand, there's kind of I feel like you can kind of have a slower pace of play because you know that your chances of going to time are extremely low, so you'll see maybe players play at a bit more of a relaxed pace here.
And looks like Sam is mulliganing. I remember when we changed the rules to do this whole London mulligan, Neobrand was like the big scary deck that people were always talking about. Like Neobrand and Tron were just going to take over the format.
Right. And they haven't.
Yeah, Neobrand has popped up lately, it seems,
Yeah.
but it hasn't just turned into the de facto combo deck. We still see a lot of Storm hanging out, and Ad Nauseam a little bit lately too is on a bit of an upswing.
Yeah, Neobrand's just so fragile, and it's also one of those combo decks that does need a decent number of cards to win. It's not like you can board down to 3 and actually have enough fodder to win with the deck. Um, the Allosaurus Rider engine is not cheap as far as cards are concerned.
Yeah, I feel like it takes a bit more pieces than a deck like Griselbrand did, where all that needed basically was like a discard outlet with one of your fatties, and then Agorio's Vengeance or Rituals and Through the Breach, something like that. Uh, Neobrand does seem to require just a lot more moving pieces to get like everything into play.
Interesting. So Anthony starts off with a Thought Season, Sam will Once Upon a Time in response. I think the only reason I could see this done, yes, is if Sam is looking for a land. You would probably not want to fire it off if you were looking for a creature. And Anthony asking about Oxidize. We can also take a look at Oxidize.
Yeah, so it looks like we have Evolution, Allosaurus Rider, Mana Confluence, and ooh, what's the green-blue Horizon land called, Ian?
Uh, Waterlogged
Waterlogged Grove.
Grove.
Yeah.
So let's. Oh, I was gonna bring up.
You're gonna bring up the full art
Yeah, I was gonna bring
Oxidize?
up the full art. That doesn't help us. So there's Oxidize.
Basically, that's a card in this deck, pretty much just for Grafdigger's Cage.
Yep. And Anthony kind of gave us a very big hint by taking the Oxidize and then playing the Grafdigger's Cage the following turn.
All right, now we're gonna play to Sam drawing the second Oxidize. Or did you even bring two in? Maybe you just brought one in as a hedge?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, like I said, I wasn't going to bring any in, so I think it's very possible that Sam only brought one in, but
I'm putting my money on Sam having brought two in.
sure.
I feel like Cage is something that is in most gen sideboards as a way to battle like collected company decks, etc. It's just a lot of utility in a one mana card that also grows Tarmogoyf
Hmm.
if you just pitch it to Liliana. Oh, hello chat. Good to see some regular folks back.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I apologize for missing last week. It was just a very busy week, and but we should be back for every Monday in the immediate future.
Yeah, we got around. We thought we weren't going to be able to stream this week because of some construction going on at Guardian. They've been doing some updates inside, but we were able to finagle our way into a booth.
So, Anthony's got what we need to win. We have the Piece of Disruption in the Cage and the Tarmogoyf to swing in here, and Tarmogoyf should make fairly quick work of this game. Although it looks like it's only 3 power currently with land instant sorcery. See if Anthony can add to that.
I haven't had a fetch land yet. Or wait, have we?
Yes, we
yeah,
have.
we had a fetch land,
Yeah.
okay. Who get an Inquisition. Can't take the Allosaurus Rider. Can take the Evolution.
Or the Nourishing Shoal. I'm inclined to take the Evolution, personally.
Yeah, that way Sam has to draw another combo piece plus a piece to remove the cage.
But it looks like Anthony's going to take the card draw piece instead. I think just basically hoping that the Grafdigger's Cage is going to be enough to get this win. Oh, they just announced the Pioneer MCQ. Did you hear when it was announced? Is it this weekend?
You know, I do not remember when that is coming up.
They should, Guardian Games should have it on the website if you are interested in attending.
I think the one here is in March March 20 something, I think.
Hmm.
Whatever the Sunday that's in March that's in the 20s.
Fair enough. So Sam hasn't conceded here, which makes me think that there's another Oxidize in the deck. Anthony finds a tracker off the Bloodbraid Elf. Gonna get in for a bunch. I'm gonna say Sam has one more turn to rip something pretty special, and I don't even know if Oxidize would do it at this point.
You know, you're playing a fast deck. It might be worth just playing it out until you're dead if you're Sam to see what other sideboard cards you might be able to catch from Anthony. But that's gonna do it. He's gonna be dead the next turn.
So Grafdigger's Cage and Bloodbraid Elf, they're not a nombo, correct? Because Cascade, you're flipping and then you're casting the card, but it's not being cast from the library.
Yeah, that's not a nombo.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a helpful thing if you're junding.
A nombo is Cascade plus 3 Teferi.
Yes. Yeah, don't see that a ton, those in the same decks, but you do see them against each other a fair bit. So Sam, kind of going back to the board, I guess we're going to definitely see all of the effects that remove artifacts or enchantments tossed in, and it looks like the Leyline of Sanctities are heading out, maybe? That seems...
Oh, maybe Sam's thinking if you're on the play, you're going to do all your stuff on, like, you're going to want to have a really fast start, get something out on turn 1, have a better chance to combo off, and play less defensively.
Okay, so that would have mean maybe we'll see the Oxidizes leave as well, just kind of take the entire sideboard out of the equation and just go for turboing out turn 1.
I think I would leave the Oxidizes in, because a lot of times you're putting the Rider out on turn 1, and then turn 2 is when you're going to evolution it or neoform it. So Oxidize is a way to get rid of, like, Anthony's turn 1 cage. But you know, maybe you're fine with, if you're basically trading a Leyline as one less card in your hand, you're fine if your opponent like thought seizes you.
It's a very interesting question whether it's correct to run the Rider out on turn 1. You kind of have to be pretty certain that your opponent's not playing like Bolt or Push in the deck anymore. So you have to feel, I think, pretty strongly that they've boarded those cards out.
Well, you can't push a Rider.
Oh, good point. So I guess just Bolt then.
Yeah.
Which is actually almost worse, because I think on the Jund side the pushes are definitely coming out, but I could actually see leaving some Bolts.
Yeah, I think the easy sideboard out cards for Jund are your sideboarding out 4 pushes. From there it gets a little bit trickier. Probably if there's a Pulse in your main deck that's a little too slow, sideboard that out. Bolts always have some amount of utility.
Right. Yeah, I honestly could have seen the Skoos go out, but it looks like Anthony left Skoos in last game, as well as maybe some slower elements like Tireless Tracker. I think any of those big grindy elements are somewhat suspect in a match like this if there are other cards that would help you close out a little bit faster.
Well, I see at least a Neoform in Sam's hand, and some lands.
And a Chancellor as well.
Well, what are the other green cards?
So Sam might be close. It's possible we even have the turn 1 here. Force of Negation was a very important printing for keeping this Neobrand deck in check.
Pre-game actions. Ooh, double Chancellor. Anthony does not have any pre-game effects.
Oh,
Well,
Sam
is committing.
Yeah, moving like a person that has a win here.
It always feels bad to lose on your turn 0.
Especially in Modern. I think you go into like Legacy, you go into it knowing that that's a very real possibility.
Yeah, it's a
But
lot more risky to play the turn 0 win decks in Legacy 2 just because how ubiquitous Force of Will is. But, Force of Negation is a commonly played card in Modern, or I would say at least it's not rare to see it in an event, but you're probably not going to expect to see Force of Negation in 50% of your decks in a tournament, where in Legacy, probably expecting Force of Will in at least 50% of your matchups in a tournament.
yeah, I think at Guardian we see a lot of the metagame
Are we going to...
warped by Amulet Titan.
I
Not
just was going to see if we remember the 1/1 counter on Grizzlebrand with Neoform.
ah yes,
Because, yeah, we're misrepresenting game state here. So you were
this
saying
will,
that Amulets warped the metagame here?
yeah, I think it's warped the metagame a bit. So you're definitely seeing people playing decks that can beat Amulet, and I think Neobrand certainly falls into that category. And I feel like if you're able to hit the first Nourishing Shoal plus Autocaton Worm,
Big boy.
then you're usually a pretty decent lock to kind of finish off comboing off here with this Neobrand deck. So my guess is we're going to see kind of the repeat of game 1. Looks like Sam did leave the Oxidize in. We do see an Oxidize in there.
It's funny how Sam just doesn't care that his opponents know everything that is in his hand. It's just easier to see when you lay it on the table to be like, okay, do I what? Okay, I need the spirit guide. What else do I need?
Right.
It's all out here because I'm dead the next turn if I don't have it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna have. I mean, I guess you can pay down the pact if you get 4 Simian or 3 Simian spirit guides plus a Manamorphose. So
then you're not winning ever.
Maybe if the Grizzlebrand's still out, maybe you're attacking to eventually kill him. Although, if we do this second, we're probably all in at this point because the next Summoner's Pack could be used to get another worm if there's a Nourishing Shoal available. But it actually looks like, did Sam brick on Nourishing Shoals?
You know what I do kind of love? As much as I like Sam, I do love seeing a combo deck that has a fail rate.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's the best. Okay, so we might have to cycle some Manamorphose here to try and get to find another Nourishing Shoal.
Yes, chat says this might be over turn 1. Well, it might be over on turn 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another spirit guide.
Okay. We can keep cycling Manamorphose. This got really, it got way more interesting here. That 1/1 counter might actually matter.
Wow, we're just we're pacting for deck thinning right now.
Wow, Oh yeah, because I guess we won't be able to make it to pay for the next pact because there weren't enough spirit guides available next turn. So.
Oh, this is good.
Sam's got to win. Yeah, Sam's got to win this turn or it's over. It's not a very, if you're on Anthony's side, even if you do win this, it's not very satisfying.
Oh, I would be very satisfied.
Really? You
Yes.
don't even get to play a card. You got to pick which hand to keep, and it literally doesn't matter at all. Your opponent's like losing the deck for themselves, or losing the game. Excuse me. Did he hit? Nope. That's a once upon a time. Not a Nourishing Shoal. Sam's got that look of somebody that knows they're up against it.
So you got one more. Do we have one more shot here?
There should be one more Manamorphose spin available, and then there's, I believe, another Morphos in the deck to be able to cast the Lab Maniac.
Is there one? Do we have one floating mana right now, or are we all out of mana?
Should have floating mana, as we haven't used any of the mana from the Manamorphoses we've cycled yet. I'm trying to think if there's any other way to use that mana in a way that...
I think Sam was looking at the sideboard because there is a wish package.
Ah.
Nope.
That's not it. So
So that's how you lose on turn 1.
so yeah, John takes this match, and I don't know if it's characteristic or uncharacteristic John fashion, but
Uh,
you know,
that was great.
play medium beats a mid range and get there without playing a card.
I, I enjoyed that. We gotta. Well, okay, so I like drawing cards in Magic, so it's cool to see someone draw a lot of cards. But also, I do like seeing people punished for playing like all-in combo
Oh, for
decks.
sure.
And so I got to see, two things that I love in Magic.
Yeah, yeah. Fail rates are a thing of beauty. Um, it's part of what keeps everything fun. Yes, yeah, it did.
I feel like that's Grizzlebrand being all like really evil and like big and intimidating, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it just like loses its voice and is like, oh crap.
Right. Right, it's just like obsessed with its power. It's like Jafar from Aladdin, and it's just over there like, what's the most powerful thing I can do? I can Neobrand, or I can Nourishing Shoal and throw this giant worm in the garbage, and then all of a sudden somebody else has the lamp, and the way it goes.
Well, oops. Looks like we got about, 13 minutes left on the clock here?
Oops, not enough spells.
Right? Literally. Well, should I go find the end of another match? Do you
Yeah,
feel
let's
like?
yeah,
Okay.
let's go see if we can find something else. Chat, we're gonna take a brief break. Hope that the Neobrand match was entertaining, and see if we can find something else for the last 12 minutes.